thing. There we go. Okay. So settling in, I hope you have your props around. Sorry. Just assume that we always need something, all this stuff. Coming to sit or lie down, whatever feels good for you this morning. Maybe a big inhale and sighing the breath out and landing in your space. Surrendering to the support beneath you. Aware of the breath that sustains you. Just witnessing one breath following the next in your gentle rhythm. And thinking about your intention for your practice. What is your hope for your mind, your body, your spirit? Shortening that to a word or a phrase and placing it in an I am statement. Repeating that softly to yourself a few times as if it were true and already happening. Gently drawing your awareness back to the breath as it fills the body and then fills the space surrounding you. Maybe using those inhales to scan the body. Noticing any sensation, not labeling it, good, bad, negative, positive. Just noticing so that you can do the same throughout your practice and meet your body wherever it is today without judgment or expectation. And in my search for an inspiration for today's class, I have 4 written down, but this last one I came across seems fitting for the times. When we are in balance, we automatically live in nonviolence. And if you think of even the smallest acts of nonviolence, as in maybe the way you talk to yourself, when we're not feeling real good, when we're out of balance, we are not very nice to ourselves. And then we're not very nice to other people. If we're aware of our mental, emotional body, then we can respond and not react. We can stop, pause, feel, and move forward from a wise heart. And with that, either sitting or lying down, extending through the fingertips, just waking up the muscles in the arms, aware of the breath. And with your inhale, allowing the arms to float out, around, and up, whatever way feels right for you. And exhaling, drawing that to the heart center, even if you're lying down. Inhaling, moving the arms in their shoulder sockets to extend, and exhaling, heart center. Last time, out, around, and up. Simple movement linked to breath. Nice, and then allowing the hands to float to either side of the hips. And coming to lie on your back now, so we can warm up. Bending one knee and then the other, just step the feet softly onto the earth if they're not there already. And just moving, starting with pelvic tilts, inhaling, rocking the hip points forward, exhaling, gathering the belly to slowly become aware of the lower back. Inhaling and exhaling, rocking on the sacrum, dipping the tailbone to the earth, and then up towards the ceiling. Notice what you notice without labeling it. And maybe with that inhale, you can start to become aware of the heart space, puffing it up, expanding. And with the exhale, allowing the back muscles to lengthen, to regain their length, without forcing anything. 2 more rounds like this. And then coming to stillness there. I'm walking the feet the width of the mat. Shoulder blades rest onto the earth, breathing into that space below the collarbone, lifting the toes to flex the feet, exhaling both knees float to the side, inhaling up to center, exhaling to the other side. Allowing gravity to draw the legs towards the earth. You're not pressing them. You're just finding their natural range of motion in your hip socket, allowing the hips to lift and the side body to lengthen. The side opposite the knees. 2 more rounds like this, floating from side to side. Noticing what you notice without judging it. And then floating the knees up to center, allowing them to fall together. Just 3 rounds of breath here. Allowing the breath to move onto the back body or filling the back body, the back of the lungs. Softening with the exhale. No efforting, smoothing out the breath. Just a gentle pause between them. Nice. And then opening up the knees over the ankles and walking the feet back to hips distance. Exhaling, both knees float over the hips as if you were sitting in an invisible chair. Tucking the shoulder blades underneath the heart space. Keeping the head resting on the floor and tucking the chin to the notch in the collarbone. Right angle at the hip creases, so knees back away from you to come just over the hips. And then you'll notice the core muscles engage. Aware of the bottom front ribs. Can you gently hug them towards the earth without compromising the breath? How does this feel? Maybe this is where you're staying. Maybe with the exhale, you're hugging the belly gently in and tapping the right foot down, inhaling to float that knee back over the hip. Exhaling left, inhaling over the hip. How does that feel? Maybe you're letting the right foot come to the floor and working the left side for 3 more rounds of breath. Maybe continuing to move side to side. After that 3rd round of breath, the left foot comes to the floor if you are doing that, and just working the right side. Honoring your lower back and doing what feels right for you right now this morning. The breath is the most important part of the practice. Keeping it smooth and even, moving with awareness, allowing both feet to float to the earth. Inhale there and exhale, one knee and then the other draws in for a hug, maybe rocking from side to side. Always moving with intention and noticing maybe there's a subtle difference between one side of the body and the other. Honoring whatever it is your body has brought to you today, and then finding stillness there. And allowing the feet to float to the earth. Preparing for big bridge pose or rolling bridges. And so what does that mean for you? Finding that same foundation of a softness to the back of the neck. Shoulder blades resting flat on the earth or in that general direction. Feet rooted to the earth. Hips distance with the heels walking closer to the sitting bones. And with your inhale, lifting the sacrum straight up to open through the front body, and exhaling, maybe rolling down, maybe not. Not forcing the lumbar curve out, that lower back. Maybe that curve stays and you go from the last ribs right to the sacrum. Exploring the front and back body with the breath. 3 more rounds of breath. Basically cat-cow, lying down. And then with that last exhale, allow the hips to float to the earth. Inhale again, filling that space below the collarbone, and exhale, one knee and then the other draws in for a hug. Excuse me, maybe rocking from side to side. Maybe pausing in stillness. Bringing awareness to the breath. Letting go of tension with the exhales. And coming to stillness there, allowing both feet to float to the earth. I hope you have a strap, a belt, a tie, something nearby. Sorry, Karen. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So making it a habit, hopefully, to have blocks, straps, chairs, or blankets around so that you can draw that right knee in towards the chest and loop that strap around the big toe and pinky toe ball mound of the right foot. Taking both tails of the strap in the right hand. Keeping the left knee bent and the foot on the floor. Soften there. And inhale, extend that right leg up. This strap is not meant to effort, it's to aid. So that the right arm rests in the shoulder socket. Maybe you walk the hand up to open up through the elbow, but you're not efforting. It's just a gentle awareness to the bottom of the foot and a deeper opening. As you root equal weight into both sides of the hips, inhale, reach into that heel in a way that feels good for you. So the back of the knee is soft. Keep rooting that left hip to the earth, maybe placing your left hand on top of that, your hip bone where the thigh comes into the hip. Exhale, gathering the belly, and inhaling, allowing that right leg to float out to the side any amount. Inhale up to center. As soon as you feel the left hip starting to lift, that's your edge. This is core work, warming up, firing up the core, activating the first 3 energy centers, moving slowly, mindfully with awareness as you extend into the heel and draw the toes to the room and back of you. Keeping the left knee facing the ceiling, so it's part of the foundation, the left foot. Next time you inhale up to center, find stillness there. Extend that left leg straight out onto the earth. Pause there. Switch hands. So now the left hand has the straps, the tails of the strap. Maybe the right arm extends out in T. You could soften, bend the elbow so the arm rests easily on the earth. Exhaling, that right leg floats over to the left, crossing over, allowing the right hip to lift, rolling onto the pinky toe side of the left foot. Inhale, float back up to center. Exploring a twist, the first one you've probably taken. Find your edge, don't force yourself past it. Find a fluid, even breath that guides you. Smoothing out the edges. Next time you inhale up to center, complete your round of breath. Exhale, bend the knee, remove the strap and float that foot to the earth. Walk the feet, extend the right foot out in front of you. Let the left come to meet it. Take a few rounds of breath, just noticing the sensation on the right side body and sensation on the left side body, and the way the right side body rests on the earth. Is it a little different than the left side body, right and left? Just noticing. Being curious about what yoga can do for you and your body. If it's true that we hold our issues in our tissues, if we work the body, we become aware of the tightness, and maybe we become more mindful about how we feel throughout the day. As expressed in the body. Exhaling the right foot and then the left, come to the floor. Pause there, find your foundation. Soften the back of the neck. Exhale, left knee comes in so that you can place the strap over the big toe, pinky toe, ball joints, toe joints, right? And then we can inhale, extend that heel up to the ceiling, taking the strap in the left hand, both tails in the left hand. Softening the back of the knee. Maybe this side feels different already. Just noticing. As we root the sacrum, the center of the pelvis, to the earth and extend up into the heel. And with your exhale, taking the right hand onto the right hip. Noticing as you allow that leg to float out to the left, when does your right hip start to pop up? And then inhale, draw that leg back up to center. The core body, the muscles in the thoracic body helping to raise and lower that leg. By keeping the body stable on the earth, we can isolate the movement to the leg in the hip socket. Just noticing how that feels. What awareness do you have? Maybe 3 more rounds like this, keeping the toes reaching towards the room in back of you. And with your next inhale, finding stillness there. Pausing to extend that right leg straight out onto the earth. The foot is flexed and the leg is active to start. And then soften, release, so that you can, you know the difference and you can allow for a fluid twisting. Maybe the left arm extends out to the side. And with your exhale, the left leg floats over to the right, pausing at your edge and inhaling up to center. Allowing that left leg, the pinky toe side, to rotate towards the earth as your hips come closer to stacking one on top of the other, and the shoulders stay resting on the earth. And again, maybe the side's a little different than the other, and you're slowing it down, slowing the movement down to match your breath, letting the breath guide you, aware of the core muscles, not just moving with the leg, not efforting with the arm. Maybe 1 more round like this. And then floating back up to center. Bending the knee, drawing it in so you can remove the strap, and floating that foot to the earth. And then sliding the left leg out in front of you and allowing the right leg to come to meet it. Use the exhales to soften through the back body, to rest on the earth, to scan the left side, noticing the sensation on the left side. To scan the right side, noticing if there's a difference, how you meet the earth, the body meets the earth. Nice. With your next exhale, draw one knee and then the other in for a hug, pausing, softening through the shoulders, and then maybe considering rocking from side to side. And then coming to stillness, and the feet come to the floor and you roll over to one side or the other. Pausing here for a couple of rounds of breath. Aware of the breath filling the front and back of the heart space, the ribs expanding to accept the breath. And then rolling all the way over onto your belly. Maybe you like to prop your hips, put a blanket under them. Maybe that helps. I don't know what other suggestions to offer, but find a way to rest. And we'll walk our elbows under the shoulders and come into a gentle Sphinx. So the legs are extended straight out and back of you so that the hip creases are open and the toes rest on the earth without over-efforting. Just notice the shoulders. And as you root into the lower arms, what happens? Inhaling, extending the sternum away from the belly button. Pause there, soften. Aware of the shoulders. Muscles are active in the shoulder girdle. Shoulder blades are together on the back body. Away from the ears. And in back of the heart, we use the shoulder blades to reach us forward. Notice what you notice. Don't over effort. Find the ease in the Sphinx. Soften the back of the neck. So maybe that means dipping the chin a little towards the earth, gazing to the earth. Shouldn't have any compression in the lower back. Can you find a way to be more easeful in the pose? Maybe walking the feet wider apart, legs wider apart. Inhaling, extending, reaching the ribs out of the hips. Exhale, float down. Stack one hand on top of the other. Pause there to soften the shoulders. Bend the knees so the feet just come up. And float the legs side to side. Yeah, just softening through the lower back, letting go of any compression, efforting, tightness in the lower back, and then float the legs back down to the earth. Pause there. Breath in, sigh the breath out, let go. Nice. Coming back up onto forearms. Shoulders slide away from the ears, together on the back. Root into palms of the hands and forearms for a lift. Pause here. Bend the right knee. Notice a deeper opening in the front of the hip. Yes, the quadricep maybe. And then with the exhale, soften the gaze over the right shoulder. You're moving slowly, mindfully with the breath to find an easeful way to come into this. See if you can move the breath into the left side body. Just explore that option. Nice. Exhale that right foot down. Gaze forward, let it go. Recommit to that foundation so that we're not hanging on the shoulders. So we keep the integrity of the pose. Bending the left knee. Pausing there to notice, oh, this side's a little different than the other. Breathe, soften, exhale, gaze over the left shoulder. Oh, do you have a different range of motion on this side? Just noticing. Keep the rooting into the forearms, the lengthening through the front body. Maybe breathing into the right side body. Nice. Gazing forward, floating that foot down, walking back down to your crocodile and getting movement, wagging the, rolling the hips side to side, bending the knees again if you like that, and floating the legs side to side. Notice what you notice, soften, breathe. Nice. And then rolling over onto your right side, using your arm as a pillow or a blanket under your head. Bend the bottom leg, so that's your right leg, the bottom knee, so that the knee comes out in front of you. A little bit of a counterbalance. Does it feel good for you to rest your head on your arm? Would it feel more comfortable to come up onto forearm with the forearm parallel to the front of the mat, the elbow under the shoulder? Just trying it out. And then you have to root into that forearm to activate the muscles in the shoulder so that you're not hanging on the shoulder. So important for the elbow to be under the shoulder and to root into the forearm to keep integrity. Yeah, try something different maybe. Maybe you know where you need to be. Okay, so that top leg, the left leg, is extended out and you flex the foot. And the left arm is in front of your body. Another counterbalance. The hips are stacked. The body is long, front and back. Inhale there, reach into the left heel. Exhale, lift the leg. Inhale, soften down, exhale. It doesn't really matter if you're inhaling or you're exhaling. Just move with the breath and keep rooting into that forearm if you are lifted. As soon as I start thinking about the breath and the leg, I end up collapsing into my shoulder. Try and keep a focus on the entire body using the breath to guide you. And you'll notice that left side body contracting, right? You're lifting the leg, but the entire body works in response. Nice, lower that leg down. If you've come up onto the forearm, walk yourself back down to the floor and come to lie on your back. Pause there. Couple of rounds of breath. Let that go. And then you can come up and over onto your left side. And then find what works on this side. Maybe this shoulder's a little different and you take a different foundation. Setting up the alignment. Practicing non-harming. So you're going to be kind to your shoulder, to your body, and root into that forearm if you're lifted. And extend into the right leg, stacking the hips, keeping length through the body, front and back, soften the neck, the jaw. And inhaling, lifting the right leg, exhaling, lowering down. Making the movement linked to the breath, so you're moving throughout the breath, up and down. And just notice the contraction of the right side body now. The gathering of the belly. Without, the body responds without you telling it to do anything, right? Such an amazing machine. With awareness, we can let go of efforting. So is your jaw tight? Are your shoulders tight? Does this feel good? Is the breath smooth? Last time. And then softening down and coming to roll onto your back. And pausing there, surrendering to the earth, aware of the breath. Noticing what you notice. Smile, it's just yoga. see, you're on your back, you're rolling over onto one side, pressing the earth away, and then coming up over onto hands and knees. And while you're on your hands and knees, we'll pause here to take some cat and cows. So setting yourself up again so that you're safe and supported. So the muscles are active without efforting in the hands and the arms. And the shoulders soften down the back, and exhaling, tucking the tailbone, moving when you're ready to round the spine to the ceiling without compressing the front body. And inhaling, opening up to reach the heart, extend the heart between the arms. Maybe lifting the gaze gently, exploring the front and back body and your range of motion right now, without judging it. The next time you inhale, pause there and find a neutral spine, wag your tail, roll your, take some hip circles, just move it around a little, let it go. Nice, and then find your block and exhale, gather your belly, and inhale, come up over your knees. If you have a chair nearby, maybe you're using a chair instead of a block. So the right hand, the right side body is facing the block, just so that I can keep a fluid class. And we're extending that left foot out to the side. Toes pointing away from you. See how that feels? Knee to the ceiling. Nice. We can use the chair or the block for support. Either way, we keep that same action in the arms of rooting, of being active without efforting, so that we're not hanging on the delicate shoulder, right? Inhaling, we extend that left arm straight up to the ceiling and then pause there. Lengthening through the left side body. Nice. Maybe the palm flips to face the floor. And we open up and lengthen through that left side. Yes. Maybe the right, if you're using a chair, you can come down to the forearm to move deeper. If you're on a block, maybe it comes to the next height, lowering down if it's not on the highest. How does this feel? You're pausing, you're breathing, you're noticing what feels good for you. If your toes pointed, try pivoting on the heel and having the toes point to the long side of the mat. How does that feel? What makes the pose more accessible to you? Have you collapsed in the right side body from armpit to hip? Can you inhale, allow the left ribs to soften to the floor, which allows the right side body to get longer? Don't worry if you don't get it. Just offering an awareness to you. One more deep inhale. Exhale, let that arm float in front of you towards the floor. Inhale, circle it around. Nice. Maybe you're coming up a little higher if you've gone lower. Knowing you can still get the full benefit of the pose. Last time around, inhale, reach that left arm up, exhale, float it down, draw that left leg in. Roll through the shoulders, big circles, shake it out. Maybe you're moving the chair, the block to the left side, or turning around to face the other way. You already know what we're doing. You don't need to see me. Challenging yourself to feel the pose, to move with awareness. So we're supporting ourselves with the chair or the block with the left arm so we can extend that right leg straight out, either pointing the toes away from you or flexing the foot, pivoting it towards the long side of the mat. What feels good on this side? If the foot is pivoted and pointing the long side, you're reaching into the pinky toe side of that foot, yes? Activate that left arm for support. Open up across the heart space. Inhaling that right arm alongside your ear. Notice what you notice. How can you make the pose more accessible for you? The breath smoother. Equal length in both sides of the body so that you can soften the left hips towards the earth and allow a lengthening in the right ribs closer to the earth so the left side body opens. Shoulders slide away from the ears. Maybe that arm, the palm faces the floor and you're extending through that side body. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe with your next exhale, that hand floats towards the earth, circling around. Inhaling it up towards the ceiling. What do you notice? What do you feel? I only offer suggestions, right? Maybe you're backing out of the pose or softening that left shoulder a little so that you can move into the right. Always keeping the integrity. Next time you inhale, find stillness. Exhale that arm down, draw the knee in. Roll through the shoulders. Shake it out, let it go. Let's see where we're going with this. Okay, moving the props out of the way. Let's come to the right side again. What did you like the last time we were on the right side? Did you like having the forearm parallel to the top of the mat? Did you like, if that was okay, then you'll take that again. Does it feel okay to have the arms straight? With the fingers pointing away from you? The bottom leg now comes back and the knee is bent in back of you. So not so much out in front of you, kind of, we'll move it around. So we're going for a side plank. So now you know where we're going. So you're like, okay, I get it. Maybe you're taking a block and placing it underneath your hip. You're extending through that left leg. Your left hand is on the floor. And you're rooting into that earth. The arms are active. Soften the jaw, smile. Be curious. Maybe as you root that right leg to the earth, you can inhale, lift the hips, any amount. Maybe you slide that block under there, or pillow or blanket. Exhale, gather the belly. Shoulders slide together on the center of the back. Always that opening on the front. Inhale, lift the hips an inch, maybe less. Just lifting, trying to see if you can lift those hips off the floor. If this is accessible to you, maybe you'll experiment with the left hand on your hip. And inhale, lift as you reach into the right. Shouldn't have any pain. Inhale, you feel the entire core working to lengthen and open through the left side body as the right side engages to lift and lengthen. Maybe experiment one more time. Your body, your practice. What does it look like for you? Maybe it's not accessible for you. You're staying on the floor with that arm bent, coming all the way down. Moving that prop, coming to lie on your back. Take a couple of rounds of breath. Now you know what we're going. You might have some expectations for the other side, the other shoulder, the other hip. Can you let that go and move into the pose with curiosity, letting the breath and the body guide you? So now we're coming on to the left side. Maybe this side you're going to keep the elbow bent. Maybe it's okay to keep an extended arm, but you're not walking out the elbow. The muscles are engaged. The shoulder slides to the center of the back. Open across the collarbone. Soften the back of the neck. That bottom leg, the knee bends and the foot comes in back of you. That's your kickstand. The top leg extends out in front of you. Maybe with your exhale, you're gathering the belly. With your inhale, you're keeping awareness of the heart space and lifting the hips. Exhaling, lowering down. Trying to slow the movement down. Maybe there's a block under you, a pillow, a blanket, and you're lifting just so you can find those muscles. No efforting, smooth it out. There is no right or wrong. Even if you can't get your hips off the floor, if you exhale, gather the belly, and as if you were lifting, you will feel all those muscles engage, yes? Without clenching the jaw or the neck. Maybe you attempt it one more time, maybe not. Maybe you're coming to rest and you're okay with that. And then come to lie on your back again. Inhale, exhale, land on your mat. Surrender to the earth. Notice what you notice. Filling the front and back of the heart space with breath. Bringing awareness to the back body. As you breathe into the back of the heart, becoming aware of the ribs expanding, opening, reaching towards the earth and out to the side. And then gently hugging to midline. Making the inhales the same length as the exhales. Pausing in the stillness. Acknowledging the thoughts. Honoring them and allowing them to float away. Paying attention on purpose in the moment without judgment. We use wise effort. Without an extra ounce of effort. Wise efforting. With your next exhale, draw the knees in for a hug, maybe rocking from side to side. Just get movement that feels organic for you, maybe making hip circles or circling the legs in opposite directions. What do you need? Windshield wiper. And then finding stillness there. Exhale, gather the belly. Maybe you have space to allow the thighs to come a little closer. Maybe you're staying right where you are. Be okay with wherever you are. Maybe the legs move a little out to the side and that makes more space accessible, getting to either side of your belly. Soften through the shoulders, just pausing there to allow the back body to elongate. The muscles to release and soften. Nice. And then rolling over to one side or the other, pressing yourself up to all fours, and either using blocks or a chair so that you have some space to step one foot forward. Curl the toes of the other leg so that you can extend and step that foot forward. or finding an accessible way to come into that half forward fold. Maybe the hands come to the tops of the thighs. And you're aware of the shoulders and you draw them away from the earth to the center of the back. Deep opening across the heart space. Then we hug the belly in and up, the front ribs to the ceiling. Exhaling, hip creases reach back. Inhaling, crown of the head extends forward. And the breath moves freely. Root into the feet. With your inhale, maybe the arms float out around and up as you come up with a flat back, and exhale, bringing the energy to the heart center. Inhaling, arms extend, we lengthen. Exhaling, heart center. Last time. Moving with your breath and bringing it to the heart. Taking your chair to the top of the mat, whatever top is for you. If you have a chair, if you're using a bed, a piece of furniture, whatever it is. I hope you have something. You don't have to see me. So, connecting mind with the body as you root into the circumference of the heels. Lengthen through the crown of the head, extend the fingertips towards the earth, and breathe into the heart space. Notice what you notice. Actively rooting with intention to the earth so that we can breathe into the upper body. Nice. With your inhale, the arms float out, around, and up. And with your exhale, we hinge forward so the hands can land on the chair, allowing weight to shift over the right leg. So you can step or slide that left foot back. Hips are parallel to the earth. We're gazing to the chair. Bring weight into the pads of the fingers, especially if you have a squishy chair, or walk those hands a little further away from you so there's no efforting in the heels of the hands. Sometimes rooting into blocks feels better than a squishy surface. Nice. And then find the foundation again, find the breath, shoulders sliding away from the ears, heart extending, core engaged. Inhale that. Left leg lifts straight out from the hip and up to the ceiling. Not locking that right knee. Maybe that doesn't feel good for you and you're resting the toes of that left foot on the earth and challenging that right leg to stand tall, to keep length through the core body, for the breath to be smooth. Nice. Exhale, float that left foot down. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Shake it out, let it go. Land in the soles of your feet. Lengthen through the crown of your head. Inhaling, allowing the arms to float out, around, and up. Exhale, bow forward, planting the hands so that you can shift the weight over the left leg without keeping length through the left side body and extending the right leg back of you. Toes resting on the earth. Maybe this is where you'll stay. Strong arms without locking out the elbows, active core to support you. Easy breath, no efforting in the back of the neck. Maybe you're able to inhale that right leg straight up and extend into that heel. Nice. Breathing in, breathing out. Is this pose accessible for you? Exhale, soften that leg to the earth, root into the feet. Inhale all the way up to stand. Bring it to the heart center. One hand on top of the other, resting in the heart space. Connect with the breath as it moves in the body. One final standing pose. Big inhale, softening exhale, shake out the arms, roll through the shoulders, neck, whatever you need to do. Nice. And we're coming to face, so our right hip faces the chair or a piece of furniture. So that you can let the right hand come to the chair, the block, whatever you're resting on, and walk yourself away so you have some space so that you're rooting into that right leg, opening up, inhaling, lengthening, and stacking the shoulders. Now you're on the toes of the left foot, yes. Soften through that right knee. Exhale there, inhale. Maybe you're able to reach into that left leg. Maybe straightening a little into the right leg without locking the knee. Nice. Exhale, lower down. Inhale all the way up. Shake it out, let it go. What's the self-talk like? Are you honoring your body? Moving with kindness? Next, other side. So where we have the left hip facing the chair. We're allowing the left arm to come to a block or piece of furniture. Right away, we soften the shoulders and draw them to the center of the back. Walk the hips away so you have space and length in the right side body. And you're on the toes of the right leg and opening up through the back side body. How does the lower back feel? Maybe this is where you stay, challenging that standing leg and the core body to keep its length and the breath to be smooth. Maybe you're able to flex that right foot and inhale, extend it out. Is the breath smooth? So even though the core is engaged and working, you should be able to breathe into the heart space. Keeping a long spine, a soft neck. And with your next exhale, bend into that left knee, float that foot down. Inhale all the way up to stand. Roll through the shoulders, always moving slowly, mindfully with intention. Land in the soles of the feet. Come into your mountain pose. Smooth out the breath. Even out the inhales and the exhales. And bring awareness to the palms of the hands. Noticing any sensation in the palms of your hands. Your next inhale, allow the arms to float out, around, and up. Doesn't matter which way you're facing. Exhale, float the hands to the heart center. Inhaling, rooting down so that we can lengthen up. And exhaling, bowing forward towards the earth as we hinge from the hips. Keeping a long front and back body. Shoulders slide away from the ears. We pause here. With your exhale, drawing the hip creases back, the weight shifts into the heels. Hands on the tops of the thighs. With your inhale, the heart floats away from the thighs. The knees stay in the same bend. The hip creases open, coming into your expression of chair. Legs are active. The muscles hug together. Maybe you can inhale the arms into cactus. The front ribs draw in a little. You're not taking out that curve in the lower back 100%. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Pause there. Inhale, lift the heart as you hinge up from the hips. Exhale, root down. Inhale, maybe we lift the arms. And you're moving slowly, mindfully, with intention, smoothing out the movement to be linked to the breath. Exhale, hands float to tops of the thighs. You straighten the knees a little. Hinge forward, parallel to the earth. Inhale there. Exhale, bend the knees. Reach the hip creases back. Inhale, heart lifts. Maybe the arms float up. Nice. How does your back feel? Strong legs, strong core. With your next inhale, come all the way up to stand, floating up. Exhale, bring it to the heart center. Let the hands float to the hips. Walk the feet a little bit wide and take some hip circles. And the other direction. And then come to stillness, walk the feet together, step to the top of your mat. And we'll come back down to the earth. Inhaling, finding length. Exhaling, bowing to the light. Inhaling there. Exhaling, maybe hinging deeper, maybe hinging at the hips, maybe straightening the legs. What does deeper mean for you? Maybe it means connecting with the breath. But still, you have a long spine. You're not collapsing the front body or closing off the throat. So the heart extends away from the belly, and to come closer to the earth, we hinge from the hips. Nice. Exhale there, gather the belly, root into the feet. Inhale all the way up to stand. Exhale, heart center. We'll come all the way down, inhaling, floating up, exhaling, bowing forward. Inhale to find length and exhale to bend the knees deeply, to come to a chair or blocks, to step back to all fours. Pausing here to take cat and cow, to wag your tail, to let go of any efforting in the back. And then letting the big toes touch and knees walk wide. Inhale, lengthening through the front body. Exhale, floating the hips back. Inhale, keeping that length in the front body. Exhale, coming to rest. In child pose, your expression of child pose. Maybe you like coming to child pose on a chair, crossing the forearms. Resting the forehead there. Maybe you're resting the forehead on blocks or a blanket. Maybe you'd like a deeper extension or a different expression of the pose, and your hands are up on blocks. Arms extended, lengthening through the side and back body, front body. Wherever you are, you're breathing into the front and back of the heart space. In your expression of child pose, softening through the hips and the shoulders to allow the breath to move deeply, to fill the lungs completely. Using each exhale to let go of any remaining gripping or tension. Throughout the practice, moving from thinking to feeling to knowing. If we pay attention on purpose in the present moment without judgment, are we using wise effort? And if we use wise effort, are we being kind to ourselves? Is there a wisdom in being kind? With your exhale, gather the belly. Inhale to sit up onto your heels so the hips can come to one side and you can extend the legs out in front of you. Shake it out, let it go. Roll through the ankles. You're sitting up tall and using the arms to support you maybe, so that the shoulder blades slide together and you keep that integrity of the spine. Flex and point. Fan the toes out, curl them in. And then plant the feet on the earth. Walk the arms back. Walk the feet to the width of the mat. And find your windshield wiper. Maybe flexing the feet offers you a little more space, just noticing. Notice the difference between planted feet and flexed feet. You have the opportunity to play in your practice and to find a way to move easily. Coming to stillness, maybe you want to move through a little bit of core work. Maybe you're skipping it and you're lowering yourself to your elbows and coming to lie flat on the floor. Maybe your hands coming back at your thighs. Shoulder blades up, back, and down. And inhaling, the heart reaches towards those thighs. Soften the jaw and the gaze. Find the breath. Arms can help with the foundation, but you're not efforting, so that you can float onto the top of the sacrum and keep that same integrity, that same length of sternum away from belly, protecting the lower back. Maybe the palms open towards the ceiling. Maybe with your exhale, you carve out the belly and lower all the way down towards the earth, moving slowly, mindfully, with control, to calm, to rest, into the support of the earth. Sigh the breath out, land there. Surrendering to the pose, to allow the breath to move, to fill the space in the front and back of the heart. With your exhale, one knee and then the other comes in for a hug, and maybe you get some movement there. Notice, is there anything different in the body now versus when you started? Maybe not, maybe. Just noticing. Letting the feet float back down to the earth. Walking the heels closer to the sitting bones so that the ankles are under the knees. Tucking the shoulder blades to the center of the back and sliding them away from the ears towards the waist. And then rooting into the soles of the feet and the shoulder blades. Arms resting, palms down. Find the breath. With your exhale, the pit of the belly gathers, the legs become active so that when you inhale, you can lift the hips, rolling up into a bridge pose, any amount. Exhale, lower down. Exploring the body at the end of your practice, front and back. Moving with your breath. Inner thighs working together without touching. Knees pointing to the ceiling. Shoulders rooting to the earth. So with that inhale, you can lift the heart towards the chin without any effort in the back of the neck or the jaw. Heart lifting to the chin, not chin to the heart. Finding a deep opening in the front body, and maybe you want to pause here for a couple of rounds of breath in your expression of bridge pose. Committing to the foundation through the soles of the feet, the active legs, the shoulders, and inhaling, lifting the hips towards the ceiling, opening up through the heart, and when you're ready, exhaling, slowly rolling down with control. Extending one leg and then the other to extend out in front of you. Pausing there. Notice what you notice, what comes up. Physical body, mental body, thoughts, emotional body. Meeting yourself wherever you are. Your exhale, one knee and then the other draws in for a hug. Getting movement if that feels good. Completing your practice. What does that mean for you? Does it mean you like to take an inversion, legs up the wall? Does it mean you want to cross your ankle over your thigh and breathe into the outer hips? A few rounds of breath in each side. What does it mean for you? What would complete your practice? What pose comes to mind? Maybe the soles of the feet come together and the knees open in reclined butterfly. Maybe you're resting in Shavasana. That would be the kindest thing for you to do right now. Finishing up your final pose for 3 more rounds of breath. And then coming into a final spinal twist so that the knees maybe float over the hips, or you can take the same twist we started with of one leg extended and drawing the opposite knee over, extending through the opposite arm. What twist do you like? What feels good in your body? Maybe you're doing something different. Challenging yourself to explore and be curious. To use the breath to soften. To find length from armpit to hip. Aware of the breath filling the back, and with your next exhale, softening. Letting go. Inhale to gaze up to the ceiling. Exhale, let that knee come up or leg. And find the pose on the opposite side. Always moving slowly, mindfully with intention. Aware of the breath that guides you. Being kind to yourself. Meeting the body wherever it is on this side. And using the breath to explore deeper. With your next inhale, gazing to the ceiling if you've turned your head, and exhaling the knees back up to center, and giving a final hug or taking whatever final movement would complete your practice. And then covering up, propping, settling into Shavasana. You come to rest on the earth. Choosing stillness. Allowing the body to be still. No place to go, nothing to do. Breathing in the moment. Aware of the breath in and the breath out, and using those exhales to rest in the support of the earth. This is what we've been working towards, to be able to rest in the stillness, aware of the breath, the earth beneath us, the vast sky above, and the wise heart that lies between the two. Using the exhales to soften the space between the eyes, to allow the eyes to rest heavy into the back of the head. The forehead melts to the earth, and all the muscles surrounding the eyes soften and release. Using the exhale to soften the jaw, to allow the tongue to slip away from the roof of the mouth and the lips to softly meet. To allow the muscles in the face to melt to the earth. Following the breath from beginning to end. Using the breath as your anchor, drawing you back to this moment, to allow the thoughts to float away just for now, to bring the body, mind, and spirit back into balance. Mindfulness is a form of paying attention that is neither judging nor wishing things are different. Rather, resting in an open heart and an open mind, seeking only to know what is true. An open heart comes first, and the open mind will follow. Breathing into the kind, wise heart. And I'll be here to guide you out. Slowly becoming aware of the earth beneath you, the space surrounding you. Gently deepening your inhales and your exhales. And slowly bringing your body back from stillness with small, gentle movements. Rubbing the fingertips together, wiggling the toes, maybe slowly turning your head from side to side. With a deep awakening inhale, maybe extending through the fingertips. When you're ready, floating the arms to a comfortable position, stepping one foot and then the other softly onto the earth as you bend the knees. Pausing here, feeling more awake and alert with every breath. Noticing what your practice has given to you today. What can you take with you off your mat and into your life? Using your arm as a pillow, rolling over to one side or the other. Allowing the breath to fill the front and back of the heart space. Bringing to mind the intention you started with. Keeping it, changing it, maybe. Repeating it softly to yourself one more time. Resisting the urge to open the eyes if that suits you. Press the earth away and draw yourself up into a comfortable, easy seated position. Maybe propping on a blanket or a pillow. And with your inhale, maybe we extend through the fingertips one more time. And with your exhale, we float the palms together to rest at the heart center. With the intention of meeting our lives the way our palms meet, with gentle awareness, guided by the heart. And we lift our hearts. We bow our heads to honor that perfect light that shines in all of us, that unites us. With the intention that our practice be steady, be continuous, that it be of benefit to all beings. And may all beings be safe. May all beings be healthy. May they be happy. May they find their freedom. May all beings know peace. And may they walk through the world with ease. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. I hope you feel good.